WW7KC, you're coming through on the repeater. This is KD7CYM.
WW7ATS.
Calling station, this is K9PQ. I didn't catch your call sign. Can you come again?
Foxtrot 7, Whiskey, Echo.
Okay, there's a long delay on this repeater. I heard Foxtrot 7, Whiskey, Echo. Good to hear you on tonight. I'm Bob, K9PQ, and we're just about to start a net, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll let you guys have it there. Just heard somebody a little earlier, said I'd see if somebody else was out here, so. Alright, continuing on with your Western Washington Amateur Television. Take care. AF7WE.
You too. AF7W, this is K9PQ, standing by for net.
Good evening, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. It's a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. The find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. It's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage. There you'll find out more about our club, the frequencies we transmit on, and also you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater, 147.08. Also note, the Cougar Mountain repeater has a tone of 103.5 for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway.
N7KC.
Hearing none. We'll get on with our net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Checked in via video link already is Ron, KD7QKU, Lee, N7KC, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is anybody else wishing to check in?
Kilo Juliet 7, Sierra X-Ray Romeo, Joel, and Roy.
Welcome, KJ7SXR. Well, let's start off the net with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. KD7QKU here. What a beautiful day again. About the only thing we did today was we went grocery shopping. And not much going on over here at the Baker House, that's for sure. Just taking things easy. So anyway, I don't have a whole lot to say tonight, I'm afraid. I'm just going to turn it back to Ned, KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Port Angeles to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, very good. Here is N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Well, good to see you guys tonight. I am just so close to dropping off. I'm so tired. But I've got just a minute and a half or so of video that I thought I would show. I'll not do it this time. I think it'll be back around to me pretty quick. There aren't very many people. So anyway, good to see you. We've had like 1.35 inches of rain this month. So this is our second wettest month this year compared to, I guess it was March. So it's been a really, really dry summer, and we are exactly one half of our expected normal rainfall for this time of the year. So I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Anyway, back to you, Dave. This is N7KC, Lee at Port Angeles.
KC, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, good evening, guys. So, yeah, this last weekend I went camping with some friends, my usual gaming group. It was not exactly gaming in the woods. It was not as formal as that. I wouldn't say it's terribly formal, but when we do gaming in the woods, our main purpose is to be there for playing board games with other people and in a beautiful environment. But we don't normally do a lot of other sightseeing this was a lot less formal, and in fact, Thursday and Friday, I went up Thursday morning, and Thursday was a beautiful day, and Friday was a beautiful day, and I got out and did some hiking around the area. I mean, nothing serious, more nature walk than hike, but got some really nice, saw some really beautiful sights. I did get some pictures, but the contrast was crazy high with the sunshine and the shade, so I need to process them to try to get them to come out to look like actual normal pictures, and I haven't gotten around to that yet. So I think hopefully I'll have that for Saturday for something to share with you. But it was just beautiful. It was, as I say, Thursday and Friday was sunny and surprisingly warm, into the mid and upper 60s, and even the weekend stayed warm, but it was very wet. It was very wet. So we had some pop-up shelters, and there is a shelter there where we camped, a daytime use shelter, and that's where we did most of our gaming because it was warm enough. Okay, and it was dry under there, of course. Back to net, K9PQ.
Let's go to Richard, K7ATS in Kent.
All right, well, let's see. You might as well show myself. Okay, here we are. Take off my glasses, get rid of the glare. So, oh, Joel's back. All right. At least I'm pretty sure I heard his voice out there. I know that the guys, let's see, it's James and Wade are the ones that can turn switch the repeater back and forth between, I know, Grand Stream and I guess it's just the repeater. Ron knows more about that, and everybody else does more than I do. I've never been able to get in with a regular radio setup. So, but from what I understand, if Joel's signal is strong enough, I heard Ron say that he can turn the repeater will turn on automatically. So, anyway, we'll see how that goes. And maybe James is here. I just don't see him. Nope. No, I guess not. And Wade is at a concert. So those are the two that can actually manipulate the repeater between shortwave and Grand Stream. But again, I think you can do it with a strong enough signal and a tower like you. So I know I'm no expert, and I'm sure you're a lot smarter than me, Joel. So anyway, golly, haven't done much myself. Was very disappointed in the Seahawks football game on Sunday, and Monday, I can't even remember what game. Oh yeah, that was Dallas barely won, so that was okay, I guess. See if you like that team. Okay, well, I'm sure I'll be able to think of a few more things. Maybe tell you what I did today next time around. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, and it's time for an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 repeater. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's go to Covington and pick up Jim in 7QO.
In 7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, the television repeater is working tonight. I see a picture of, darn it, Bob, I don't remember what that mountain was out there, but I can see it. So, Joe, when you come on, I should be able to see that. And probably the streaming will work tonight as well, because that should just be retransmitted from whatever is going into the repeater. Let's see, what else can I say? I don't have a really strong signal from the repeater due to my location. The way the repeater is supposed to work, or the way it used to work several years ago, I don't even know for sure now, because so many things have happened. But if you just hit the repeater with an NTSC sync pulse, the transmitter will actuate. But what we've been doing is putting it to the constant transmit mode during these nets, and that way people like me and like Gary, whose input is down in with the noise level, the repeater can transmit a signal from us. Except now, it doesn't even work for me. So I'm without a picture tonight because my wife is using the computer, and I have virtually zero chance of getting an RF signal to the television repeater right now. So that's what's going on there, Joel. Let's see. Ron, sounds like you were mainly doing work around the house today. That sounds about like what I've been doing. I can't even tell you what all I did, except that I was nonstop busy doing stuff that I don't want to do. What else is new? Lee, Roger, the rainfall. And let's see, we were talking a little about the weather here. Yeah, it's been warm, but wet here as well, at times very wet. I'm okay with that. I appreciate anytime it's not snowing, I'm a happy camper, basically. Bob in the woods, going for a walk. Roger that. Sounds good. Doing some gaming. Sounds like you had a good time anyway. Let's see, Dick. Roger that. Good to see you. And back to you, Dave. And 7QO.
N7QO, and this is Dave, KD7CYM. Oh my, what a beautiful day today out there. Sunshine and warmth. It was nice. I went and got my COVID and flu shot and a little bit of sore arm. And then I also registered for an RSV shot on the 24th with my provider. I was told there might be a cost for that. I don't know. I haven't heard back from them yet. And let's see. Also, they announced that this Pavlov, the COVID protection bills are going up to $1,600 the first of the year. That the government payoff is no longer there. So if you can get an order of it from your doctor now, between now and the first of the year, and have it on hand, you'd be ahead. They said that some of it will be covered by insurance, but they're not sure how that's going to work. And then also I got a text from James. He's still out with a water heater problem in his complex, so he's troubleshooting that and trying to clean up and reestablish a new hot water tank. So that's about it from here. This is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's go to Joel, KJ7SXR in Roy.
Hey, good evening, everybody on the net. Turn my transmitter on, and it's I'm looking at the live stream. I see the mountain, so I don't know if I should be seeing that the color bars and information coming from the repeater, but I'm going to need to kind of swing my antenna around a little bit and see if I can get it aimed just right at the repeater to come through. if this is going to work at all. You know, I was playing around with this and tune it to cable channel 59, and sure enough, I got a picture, so there's at least somewhat of a signal coming out of my antennas, but I mean, it's just a cable TV like distribution amplifier that I'm using to boost the signal from this modulator, so it's not very much. I'm hoping the antennas with their gain will maybe pick up the slack. So I don't know, I'm just seeing the mountain still, so I don't know if this is working. Anybody else see anything different?
I see the same as well, Joel. I think that for you to get through, we would need someone to switch the repeater input from the streaming to the radio signal. And our normal guy that does that is not on the net tonight, so I'm not sure we're going to be making that work. This is K9PQ. Back to you, Joel.
Okay, well, hopefully they're back on the net. Maybe Saturday night I can give this a try. I'm kind of eager to see if this cobbled together setup will actually do something. I mean, I was surprised to get a picture on my TV, but you know, that's 100 feet away, and so it's not the best test, but at least it's doing something. And I wish I could stay around for the rest of the net, but the girlfriend had called me earlier and we were chatting. I told her, asked her if I could take a quick break from our conversation to join in the net here and give it a try. So she's probably eagerly awaiting my phone call, and I tried to not let the radio stuff get in the way too much because I gotta always keep her happy. So I would say 73 to the net for now, and look forward to taking part again on Saturday and see if this works out. And hope everybody has a good evening. KJ7SXR.
KJ7SXR. Thanks for joining the net, and we'll be looking forward to you Saturday. Well, let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
7QKU here, yeah. Well, it's nice to hear you, Joel. Yeah, I got a text from James. I texted him, and he said he'll make sure he turns the repeater off at after 9 o'clock. And if anybody's interested, Richard probably knows the Astros won tonight, so it's 2-1. So we'll see what happens next time. And Bob, maybe I didn't hear you, but where were you camping? You went camping, but where were you camping? So that might be good to know. So that's about it here. Back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, there we go. N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Well, okay. Well, I see myself on YouTube stream, and it looks pretty good. Now, I've had a Baldor 7-inch bench grinder. It's a double ender. I've got a regular steel wheel on the left side and a carbide wheel on the right. And I have put up with the vibration in that thing for as long as I've had it. And so I decided that I was going to take care of that for once and for all. So I addressed the left-hand wheel on the lathe, and I've got a video showing how I went about that. So I'm going to go to share screen right now. And this is the left ends of the grinder. This is a 5/8 shaft right here. Left-hand threads on this side, so it gets tighter as it runs. And so what I'm going to do is just to show this. So I just, for the record, I got a video of the business ends, the left side of the thing, and over on the right-hand side. Baldor is Big and Grinders. They make very, very nice equipment. And the wheels I added were quality wheels. They're inch by 7, and but they're they need to be trued up. So I machined the mandrel on the lathe, and we're moving into it right now. And I've got a 2-carat pointed diamond here in this holder, which used to dress wheels. So this is running very true here, and I've already taken several. I only take a 1/1000th off of the pass, and you'll see here this paper towel is covering up some sensitive things where I don't want any grinding dust, and also I got the waves protected. But you can see the lathe turning not too fast. I didn't want to spew that stuff every place, and I'm using a vacuum when I'm actually doing it right up underneath the diamond point to capture virtually everything that comes off of that wheel and so forth. So it came out really, really nice, and I could run the left-hand wheel on it, and it sits still pretty well. It's still got just a little bit of vibration, and it's a little bit heavy on one side still. So I've got 2 pennies in the flanges, and I think I'm going to need 2 more to balance it out. So anyway, that's all I got, and I'm out of time. So Dave, back to you. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Go ahead, Dave.
KC, thanks for that presentation. And we'll get a quick ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Well, I'm having this weird problem with my green screen again, and the only chance I have to adjust it where I can actually see myself is while I'm on the air, so I'm not even going to bother to try tonight. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. So where I was camping, very, very close to the other place we normally go, which is at New Halem on Highway 20 in the North Cascades National Park, and the campground we normally go to is called Lower Goodale Group Campground. This one is not a group campground, it's a regular campground. It's called Goodale Creek Campground. And the nice thing about this, and the reason I wasn't even a part of this when they started doing this, our Gaming in the Woods group, some of the people started doing this because it becomes free sometime about mid-September. I don't know if it varies by year, but at some point it becomes free. And so we went up there and stayed for free, and it was very nice. It was a good, it was kind of weird. We got there, my friend actually got there Wednesday. He and his sister got there, and they saved the 2 campsites for us. And Thursday when I came, it was already filling, and it was like by the end of Thursday it was full, but by the weekend it was empty again. So I have no idea what was going on, why it was filling and emptying, but it's just a beautiful spot. It's right on the Skagit River, and these 2 particular campsites are you could easily you could just toss a rock in the river. You can walk right down to it, but from the campsite itself, you're just a few feet away. It's beautiful. So yeah, that was where we were, and it's I mention this every time, but it always fascinates me. I do all this driving to go all the way up to New Halem, and it's just not very far from Ross Lake and then Diablo beyond it, but it's at almost exactly the same elevation that I am here at home. It's about 500 feet, which is very surprising to me. I actually go down a bit and then come back up a little bit to get there to New Halem. But I was thinking of it as being up in the mountains, but it's sort of at the base. And there are mountains all around, but it's at the down in the Skagit River Canyon, so that's why it's low. I just never expected it to be that low right there. Okay, back to you all. K9PQ.
K9PQ, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, yeah, I made a trip to Tacoma today. Delivered my mom's ashes to my brother's house. My sister happened to be there, so that was fine. The interesting thing is, and those of you guys, and me as well, that have these eye issues, well, he was really suffering, and not because of anything he had necessarily done. It was, he was in the middle of a kind of a 2-week procedure for dry eye. So 1 week is one eye, and then the second week is the other eye. And I don't know if I'm saying this right, but they attach, I don't know how they do it, don't ask me, but they attach an amniotic membrane to the outside of his eye. And he has to have it for a week. And when I say amniotic, I'm referring to the membrane that comes with newborn babies, evidently, if I'm saying that correctly or pronouncing it. But that's that sort of business, and that's on his eyeball. And he was not a happy camper, let me tell you. So he gets that off Friday on one eye, and then they put probably a brand new membrane on the other eye, and evidently this is a procedure to take care of your dry eye, which I hope I never have, let me tell you. But I guess it comes with any old age, though, so I don't know. Some of you old-timers, and I don't consider myself quite there yet, might know what I'm talking about, but my mother-in-law evidently does. And it comes along with cardiac surgery as maybe a byproduct. Not what I say, cardiac, cataract surgery, geez. Anyway, I think it comes along, that can be something that happens when you get cataracts removed. Now, my wife, had new lens installed and cataracts and all that removed, but she's never complained about dry eye. So, anyway, that's all I know for right now. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Dave, I missed writing down how much that Paxlovid is going to cost. If you would, when you come on, refresh my memory on how much that's going to cost, supposedly. I have not yet got an RSV shot, but my wife has, and it did not cost anything, so I'm wondering if maybe as long as we're on Medicare, there's no cost. But having said that, we do have some pretty expensive supplemental insurance, so I don't know. But I guess you'll find out. Sorry. Let's see, Lee bench grinder. Well, now that is truly, thank you for that video. That was truly a sophisticated way of doing it. I don't have any sort of lathe at the house. When I want to turn something, I lock a drill motor down in the vise and stick something in the Jacobs chuck there. So that's about the best I can do. But there is a special tool for dressing grinding wheels. I have one. I can't say I know where it is, but you essentially set it on the tool rest for the grinding wheel and put it by it. It's kind of like, if you remember, old knife sharpeners had metal metal discs, a series of metal discs, maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 concentric metal discs, and there were a pair of them, so you draw the knife blade through them. Well, this thing looks similar to that, except it's not dual discs, it's only one, and the discs are serrated. They're not really sharp, but they have flat spots on them, and then like peaks and valleys, but the peaks are not true peaks. They're flat spots and then flat spots in the valleys. And you just hold that thing against the grinding wheel for a while, and it would help round out the wheels. I'm sure what you're doing is far superior, but that's what I've done in the past anyway. Let's see. You neglected to say if that solved the problem. I would bet that it did, but did that solve your vibration problem? And let's see. Bob, yeah, Roger, the Gaming in the Woods, that's pretty cool. I wonder if maybe the population coming and going there had something to do with the weather. Just curious about that. Maybe people left when the weather got bad, or for that matter, maybe they left when the weather got good. Just a thought. And Dick, my goodness, this embryonic membrane attached to one's eyeball. That sounds like something you might do for Halloween. I don't know. I'd be afraid to do that, but I guess the doctors know what they're doing. At least they're not using leeches now. I don't know. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
Thanks for that. Let's move on down to me. This is Dave, KD7CYM, Lake City. The price of that Paxilrod was $1,600 for a 4-day session of the drugs. And it just seemed like it was out of sight. But a lot of insurance companies have a copay there. And I'm not sure what scheduled my shot, get me a charge for $400. I was kind of surprised with that, but they said I had to contact the business office with Kaiser Primera to check and see what the price really is. So I'll be looking forward to that, but that doesn't happen to the 24th. And this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU again. Well, I think there's two kinds of cataracts. There's the internal and then the external. And I think the external forms a film over the outside of your eye. And when they get ripe, they can peel them off. So I don't know. But that's what I remember. There's two kinds of cataracts. So I don't know what they're doing to your brother. Sounds terrible. Gee, many Christmas. There must be a better way to do it than that. I sure hope the doctor knows what he's doing. And I was just wondering how Lee's stones got out of round to begin with. Maybe they came that way, I don't know. You better check your shaft, Lee, make sure your shaft doesn't, isn't round or wobbles or something. Dave had a couple of those dressing tools, and I borrowed one here some time ago. I had some grooves in my stone, and I just wanted to make it flat again. Well, it just tore hell out of my stone. I think I ended up throwing it away. I don't know, maybe there's different degrees of dressing tools, but the one I borrowed from Dave was pretty radical. It kind of did the job, but it was almost worse when I got done than it was before I started. So maybe on a bigger, rougher stone it would have worked, but I had a pretty fine stone. I don't know what it would be considered. So anyway, I guess that's about all I have. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go on to Lee in 7KC.
Okay, everything lit up here so I can push the buttons. They're grayed out for a while until the repeater's quiet for a while. So it's Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles. Well, Jim, I also have one of those moldable wheel dressers, stone dressers, and like Ron. I think it's pretty aggressive. and the reason I'm doing this is I got my TIG welder going, and to do the points on the tungsten, the thing jumped around enough that it was just hard to get really a nice fine point. So by thunder, I decided I was going to take care of this thing. So I had a 3-point diamond, and do you think I could find that thing? I mean, I looked in every nook and cranny here, and I used to use it to dress. Oh, it did a beautiful job. So I had to buy one. So I bought a single point 2-carat diamond mounted on that tool steel rod, which went into the Aloris tool holder there and so forth. And it was just as gentle as could be. Like I say, I did it 1,000 at a time. That's on the radius. And I had to make I took 12 thousandths off the wheel to get it straightened up. And it made a big difference in its performance. But again, there was a look at the wheel is slightly, and it fits the shaft beautifully. And the shafts are straight as a dime, Ron. I mean, they just runs like $1 million with no stones on it. Anyway, so now that it fits the shaft so close, I can't move it to offset it to take care of it. So the flanges have got a little recess in them. And so I started out with pennies and used scotch stuff to stick them in there temporarily. And then that wasn't quite enough to do it. So it ought to be statically balanced so that the wheel does not move no matter where you place it. And so that's my next task. I'm very, very close. The left one ran very nicely, but still I could tell it's got a little bit in it, so I thought I'd try to get it all out. And then I have to do the right one, the carbide one, and so forth. So, you know, it's just one of those things. I decided that I'd put up with that long enough and I was going to fix it. Okay, I am out of time here, so I'm going to send it over to Dave. Yeah, KD7ZYM. This is in 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Go ahead, Dave.
KC. Let's go to Bothell to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey, well, Jim, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think it was the weather. And I think what threw me was wondering, why people would be there on a Thursday and a Friday and not a Saturday and a Sunday, but I'm sure that's exactly it. They probably were able to arrange to get the days off or were retired or something, and they only wanted to be there when the weather was nice. I did meet a few people up there as I was walking around and talked with them a little bit, and one was a guy from North Seattle that had come out just for the day. So he was going to go a little bit further and then head on back. So it's kind of a long day trip, but he liked it, and got him out of Seattle and into the woods for a bit. So yeah, I'm sure the weather was the reason. I think it wasn't bad, but I mean it rained hard at times and it was drizzle pretty consistently. but as I say, it was warm, so if you were dressed for it, it was really not a problem. But a lot of people just don't want to deal with it, and I don't blame them. What else did I have? Oh, my beard. So, most of you, a lot of you at least, when you met me, I had a beard, and I shaved it off for a while, and I didn't remember how long I'd been clean shaven, but Joseph, the guy that went up there on Wednesday, that sort of is the leader of this thing, I've known him for a lot of years now, and he said he's never known me to have a beard, so I was really surprised to hear that. I have tried to start the beard a few times in the last, I would say, year, maybe a couple of years, and it just itched, and so I didn't continue. I shaved it off, but this time it didn't itch for a long time. It then did itch, but I was sort of committed at that point, and it wasn't bad. So it's looking pretty scraggly right now. I haven't given it the first trim yet, but yeah, I think the beard is back. So that's my big news for this round. My beard is back. Okay, back to you, Dave. K9PQ.
Q with a beard. Let's go to Richard, K7ATS.
Well, I had a beard, but that's when I was in my 20s, 30s, and then as I got into my 40s, then it started looking real white, and I was, I was pretty jolly looking too at that point, and so, with the white beard and a jolly self, this people calling me Santa Claus got old real quick. So it wasn't too long after that I've been clean shaven ever since. So yeah, but it would get itchy. But I remember though when I in my 20s and early 30s, it was the way to go. I mean, it was kind of popular back then, and I have to admit it did help my, at least I thought it helped my appearance. It seemed like the girls liked it too, so, but then once you get married, then that's, she was, and Lee's got one even, so what do you know? And, well, even look at Dave, you don't even, now let's see, Ron, you're hiding your chin. No, okay, so you don't even, I don't know, I just don't see things like that anymore. It's pretty weird. Funny that you should mention RSV. Well, you mentioned it, I think, the last net maybe, and so I had to go to my normal drugstore. When you have Aetna, I guess it's called Plan D, Medicare prescription drug coverage, Aetna and CVS go hand in hand, and so to get the best advice on anything, and they actually even get your prescriptions, you just go to CVS. And so I was picking up my prescriptions there, and I asked them, well, am I covered for RSV? And they said they checked and came back and said, oh yeah, I know your coverage. I go, is there a copay? No copay. So I thought, okay, well, sign me up. So I'm getting my RSV a week from tomorrow. And I told the YL to do the same thing because now, for whatever reason, and you don't ever know sometimes who you're talking to. I couldn't figure it out online, and I wasn't going to call because calling that can be a big fiasco. But when the YL was asking about it at Rite Aid, they said that, oh no, they'd have to charge her $327 or something like that. And he said, oh no, well, she said I'll look into it. So whether or not, so how and why I'm covered, is it Medicare Part B perhaps,
Which, yeah, okay, Ron's going, yeah, it's Medicare Part B, because that's, I don't know, that's the doctor's office type of billing, so, and then, I know Part A is hospital, A, B, D is prescription drug, and G is the supplemental plans, and actually Part D is only like $40, prescription drug plan is only $40.50 a month. Good warning. When you turn 65, be sure you've got prescription drug coverage. Don't be like my mom down by the Mexican border and getting her drugs in Mexico, and then when she moves up here, and you try to sign up for prescription drug coverage on Part D, yeah, they'll sign you up, but you get penalized by the month to the tune where I pay $40.50 a month, she was going to be up around $300 or $400 a month. And so just because of the penalty for not signing up when she should have. So anybody that's out there listening and is about ready to sign up for Medicare, just remember what I said. Get prescription drug coverage as soon as you're 65 or you'll pay for it. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, let's move on down to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, just FYI, my picture on the 1.2 gigahertz has been coming and going a little bit. I had it pretty much in full color the first half of the net here, but now that it's more in black and white and less in color, although that's coming and going a little too. But at least I can see a picture there. Dave, roger that for $1,600 for 4 days. Thanks for saying something about that. Holy cow. My wife and I both had COVID earlier this year. I don't remember exactly when. It was maybe March or April, or maybe even May, maybe even February, somewhere in that window. And they gave my wife Paxlovid, and it didn't cost anything. But they did not give me Paxlovid at all. I've got some other medical conditions, and they said it would not be appropriate for me to get that. I'm just going to have to tough it out. So the good news is it wasn't all that bad for me. Lee, it sounds like you have the same problem that I've got. You can't find a tool that you know you've got somewhere. And I know exactly what happened with you. For me, I kind of lost track of everything when I moved to Seattle. And I'll bet once you move to PA, you know you've got something somewhere, but you're not sure where it is. It's in some box somewhere. Good luck. And let's see, Bob, Beards, and Dick, yeah. You know, I never really did have a beard. Was not allowed when I was in high school, and once I became a pilot, at least in larger aircraft, you're not allowed to have a beard because you won't give a proper seal on an oxygen mask. Having said that, I have seen some pilots with foreign airlines with full beards. Don't know how they get away with it. I guess they're not subjected to the same laws that we are. But nevertheless, I could grow a beard now. I hadn't really thought about that. I think I'll probe my wife and see if she's interested in me growing a beard. So we'll see. I would suspect not, but you never know. Okay. I guess that's about all I've got for entertainment for now. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, and it's time for an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, with beards, it's always interesting. I've generally had a pretty full beard in the past, but I picked up a trimmer at Costco this last week, and I brought it down to a ½ inch, and I really like it down there a little more trimmer than being Santa Claus, so it doesn't itch as much, and it feels good. So I'll try this for a while and see how that works, but it may grow out again, who knows. Generally when I go get it trimmed down, they take off about 3 inches or 4 inches. Oh my gosh, all that hair on the floor. It's just unbelievable how much hair is in a beard. And that's about it for me. This is Dave, KD7CYM. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Well, let's see. I grew a beard here a while back for a short period of time. And I'm like Richard. I was just trying to figure when it was. I came here in 1965 from over in eastern Washington, and I had a beard then. So I had a beard in those days for a long time. It wasn't very popular. People didn't like it, and they didn't like you when you had your beard. I was single at the time, and I can remember I'd go in a restaurant and sit down at the counter maybe and eat, and people would ignore you. You know, I mean, you were like a hippie or something because you had a beard. So it didn't go over too well, but I had it for a long time. I shaved it off when Joanne and I got married. She asked me to shave it off, and I shaved it off. And now when I grow one, it's all gray. I never had a problem with them itching, I guess. Very bad. But anyway, so what else is there to talk about? I don't know. So, you know, Joanne made a mistake, and when she gives me a haircut, and she cut me really short, and so then she had to cut me short all over, and I was almost shaved. You guys probably remember it, and she liked it. She liked it. She wanted to keep me like that. I didn't like it, I guess. It was only, you know, about 1/8 of an inch all over, and so it's just finally getting grown out now, so I'm probably due for a haircut. I like to keep it just about the way it is or a little bit shorter. I just like to be able to kind of part it, but it still doesn't, you know, blow around. It's sort of a crew cut. So anyway, but that's about it over here. So I guess I just turn it back and hear what everybody else has to say. Back to that, KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Lee, N7KC.
Just as I went to push the transmit button, the thing ID'd, and then I had to wait for that sequence to go over. This is Lee at 7KC in Port Angeles. Well, Jim pegged it just right. You know, I knew where everything was when we were in Seattle, and I have to say that I found some boxes the other day when I was looking for that diamond that I hadn't been into since we moved here, and that's going on 10 years now. Goodness sakes. I must not have been too important. I didn't miss them. I sure put a search on for that doggone diamond. But I ended up buying a really, really nice one. It was only $20, you know. I mean, and it's a tool that when you need it, you need it. And the dressing on that stone is as smooth as the baby's behind. I mean, it is really, really nice, and so forth. Anyway, Now, why the stones are like that, they definitely came out of balance. And that bothers me because I bought quality stuff when I got that bow door. It did not come with stones. I bought the stones for it, but I didn't mince when I got paid for them. And those aren't, both of them, both the carbide and the ones for just regular steel, weigh just slightly more on one side than they do the other. And I took a lot of that out by dressing them. Even 12,000s fixed up one pretty well. Like I say, the grinder can sit there and run and not jump off the table, but I could still tell there's a little bit of vibration, and when I looked at it statically, the wheel would still swing down to its lowest point where I have a mark. So I'm static balancing on the other side, and I'm going to split it on the inside and out so that it's like they do car tires, so that it's dynamically balanced when it's spinning along that axis. So anyway, it's coming along another day, and I'll have that thing put to bed, and then it'll be so nice. Turn it on, just sit there and runs quietly. You can get in here, but 7-3. Appreciate seeing you and all that sort of thing. So we'll see you down the bike. Back to you, Dave. This is 7KC Lee in Port Angeles.
KC, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
A lot of notes, but I don't have much time, so I'm going to just go quickly over a couple of things. Yeah, the beard. I first grew a beard at 18, I think, when I went to college, and it allowed me at that time, they were a little looser at that time, to get in and have a beer at a restaurant or even at a bar, because I looked old enough with the beard that they didn't question it. And it never itched when I was young. That was actually a big surprise, an unpleasant surprise. I'd heard people talking about their beards itching. When I was younger, it never itched once. And it was just in the last couple of years when I thought I might want to try and grow it again that it itched some. Yeah, as for finding things, when I moved here, when I moved out of my place in Seattle, everything went into storage while I stayed at a friend's place for a while, and eventually I bought this and moved here. And I've never recovered. You know, I find myself looking through every single box in the garage and upstairs and downstairs and everywhere to try to find things. And the worst one, how am I doing on time here? The worst one was a coffee mug, my favorite mug that I have used here. It was, you know, it was like it was here all the time, and all of a sudden it was missing, and I couldn't find it. I looked everywhere I thought it might be, and even places I thought it wouldn't be. And I finally found it inside a microwave oven that I had just purchased, and I was testing it out by putting the mug with some water in it, and forgot and left the mug in there. And I mean, that thing was missing for months, and I searched high and low. Finally found it. I've got my favorite mug back. Back to that K9PQ.
PQ. Well, we got room for Richard, K7ITX.
It's not going to be very long-winded, that's for darn sure. But I do have a comment for Bob. So you didn't use your brand new microwave for 3 months? Is that... I got to hear the rest of that story, because you put it in the microwave to test it out, and then it just sat in there forever. You know, it's like, you know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I heard that wrong. I'm really curious. So anyway, I think that ate up my 1 minute. Well, 73, everybody. K7ITX, back to net control.
ATX, thanks for that. And it's time to wind up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.0 gauge with a specific tone of 103.5 for our nets. So with that, this is Dave on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, signing off the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
disconnected.